Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar, and it is Saturday, the 5th of August, 2023. And we have with us our very special guest, Will Mitchell, who, very funnily, when I was making the announcement, I noticed that last year on August 5th, 2022, Will was also with us as his guest. So second year, same as the first.
Different message.
Different message, but welcome.
Well, technically same message, different day, because it's all the same thing anyway. So
yay, that's exciting. I'm just kidding. Okay, so welcome. We're happy to have you. I'm having this thing where my camera is here and my computer is here. So if I look like I'm looking at it down, it's really because I'm looking at the screen. But
it's same with me. If I'm looking down like 3 inches, then I'm looking at the screen. My camera's mounted on top. So
I have to learn to do this better. Okay, so today we have in the room, we have Jennifer, Will, Angie, Elga, Laue, Ryan, and Wendy. So and I'm expecting more people to come in any moment as they normally do. So who are you going to be channeling today? Do you know?
Oh yes. I'm just laughing as to what's going to happen.
Okay, that's good. That's good to be laughing.
Yeah.
There's a laugh of derision.
No. It's not really a surprise.
Okay.
They don't want any preconceived notions of what's going to happen. So let's just all sit back, buckle your seatbelts or not, take a couple of breaths right now. I think I'm just so amused at what's about to unfold.
Okay, well, let's first, before we do that, let's do some announcements and then we'll do some prayers and then we'll get started. Then we'll jump right in. Andy, can you watch the YouTube, please?
Yes, I will. That was going to be my
and hello
question.
to everyone in YouTube and go ahead. All right, Angie, go ahead, start with your announcements. And let's
Hi, everybody. Yep, thank you very much. Angie's here and we have our Hucolo gathering scheduled for next August 8th through August 12th, 2024. It is a starseed gathering. You know, you'll be able to meet your starseeds if you have not yet. Not meet them. I don't know why I said meet. Speak to them, know who they are, know your outside connections outside of Earth. Also, it's a oneness gathering, coming together with all of our our community is going to be. This is more about the oneness too, bringing the community together. It is $6.95 a person. I am offering a payment plan. If you're interested in that, $6.95, and we can set that up that you can spread your payments out over a period of time. Classes at hucolo.org is the email address to send it to go ahead and schedule that. The link is also on the Hucolo website. It's also on our Hucolo main page. So the registration form and the flyer are both, again, on the website and also on the Hucolo main page. I don't have anything else.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think we'll start with some blessings. I will, I think Wendy, Susan, Yana would like to do one. If anyone else wants to do one, please put a Y in the, or just a check or something in the chat, and we'll call on you. But we'll since Yana's on screen, we'll start with her, and then we'll go to Wendy and Susan, who didn't say they wanted to do one, but I'm feeling that they do.
Would you like me to translate?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, can I? Hello, everyone.
Yes.
These are the Arcturians. Terstonokohisnaka tertonoku ateneke eteata hante tarteneka ust otarateke henteako orta hanteatu enteata tastka anteneke part hanteaka tanetete part hai ke ort oi niki I hasht hantaka art eneke ort mahanteata kate. Blessings.
We are amazed and proud of you, and we are looking forward to this experience for you today. Your light, your creative power, your ability to manifest, to bring about your soul mission will be much easier after today.
Beautiful. Okay, Wendy, do you want to give a blessing? Wendy? Okay, Susan, we'll go to Susan. If there's anyone else that wants to do a blessing, please write it in the chat.
Okay. Hiesia kaya tukoya tia, hiesia tukuya ya sia kotoya ya sia, hietokotea ya sia kotoya ya sia tukotoya, hietikaya tia tukotaya tia, hiesiua hia ya sia ko hia ya sikaya tia, huhoya ya sikaya ta, hiesukoya. Blessings.
I'm sorry, she's just revealing who's speaking. You are amazing beings, multi-dimensional creatures. You will tap into your creative power. You will tap into your true essence. And that's all we'll say.
Muted. Karen.
Okay, no problem.
Krishna
All right,
Priya.
so why don't we go ahead and start? And because you already look like you're heading there, Will, so I don't want to impede your
No. Yeah, we're good. Well, it's 11:11, and I'm going to mute my phone.
It is 11:11. You're absolutely right. So I think this is a beautiful
Yes.
time to start.
Yes.
I've been getting 222s and 444s for the last week, but now I'm on the 111s. So, all right. We will see you on the other side. If you want to start with, however you want to start with a introduction, and then we can go to questions. And you'll be watching the YouTube chat. So,
Thank you. Yes.
we look forward.
Water's life.
Water's life. It's true.
I invite and allow the holy fire to flow in, through, and around me in every way and everywhere and every when. And I set aside my personality and my personal energy so that I may be a clear channel. Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are Kalindi. We're here today to talk about Kalindi. And we are here to encourage you. We would like to enter into discussion about whatever you so see fit, however you resonate today, in this moment, in this day. But let me tell you a little bit about Kalindi. You might understand us as light. You might understand us as energy. We come to you in light, and in this multi-dimensional universe, in this form of physicality, we are some of the first to enter. We are the energy that attracts the formation of the first stars in every universe. Whatever the stars look like in those universes, but let us talk about your universe. Once we set the attraction point for the creation of the first stars, and we will use the analogy of what your scientists have deduced as the Big Bang. After this explosion of creation, we gather together the building blocks of your physicality. We attract them into the stars so that these energies can shine outwards. So these energies can inspire for creation. We are the essence of creation. We are the inspiration of creation. The first stars, what Kalindi emit from their loving intention, their loving inspiration, our loving inspiration, which is simply loving inspiration. The creative flow, the energies emitted from the first stars, along with the other basic elements that did not formulate into stars, went off and created other galaxies, other clouds, other formations of creativity and expression. Some of the original elements emitted by the Kalindi stars are some of the most coveted in your universe. Try not to think of them as something to reach after. They just simply carry original creative intention. When you see light codes, when you see light inspiration, when you receive rays from the light, there is the essence of Kalindi in each of them. Kalindi. Inspiring your soul, inspiring your creative ability. Each of the codes that you receive, each of the codes that you observe, each of the codes that you interpret, whether you and your mind understand what it is, your entire being, your soul does. And you can gain inspiration. You can gain, some might call it instruction, guiding codes, but they are just codes. That's all they are codes and keys. Codes and keys that you and your soul know how to use. They're not telling you what to do, because each of you will interpret these codes differently. Each of you will be inspired by these codes differently, by the loving vibration, by the loving inspiration. Now, we as Kalindi are not going to take any questions. We as Kalindi are a collective, but those who will answer questions, we would like to do something unique. We would like to ask you to settle down. We would ask you to focus. What are the questions that you would like to ask, to focus on those? What are the questions that will help you on your soul mission? What are the questions that will help you see the beauty and creativity in your soul? And all those of you who are watching on YouTube, and all those of you who are watching in a different time on YouTube, please go outside your concept of time. We will respond to your vibration, your focus, your intent. your questions. Focus on your questions right now. And your collective vibration will call into being, into creation from the Kalindi to answer your questions. Your collective consciousness has this power. Your collective consciousness will do this. Greetings.
Greetings.
Greetings. Greetings. Much light to you. You may call me, as one has given the name earlier, Kayata. One who did the blessings has spoken it. Let us talk about the questions that have arisen from the deepest aspects of you. Let us enter into discussion to see how to understand them and bring them about. In essence, I am an ascended master because I come from the ascended realms. But these are just ideas of creation, ideas of inspiration. You are our inspiration right now. What would you like to co-create right now? Are there questions? There are.
There are questions, but no one has typed in the chat, so I'm going to ask. Angie, are there questions in the YouTube chat or not? Not yet. Angie? Okay. Let me just check.
Sorry, I am like trying to maneuver with my other hand. Yes, there's one question in the YouTube.
Okay,
already.
please ask that question, and then we'll have a question. We do have a question in our room.
Okay.
Okay.
Joe Bannigan, he says, I have a rat problem in my yard. Can you recommend a humane way to deal with them? I've tried raw onions and a humane trap.
Interesting. Interesting. Is this really a discussion for creativity? Can I help inspire for a creative solution to the problem? Everyone has problems, whether we see them as rats. Rats are, in this channel's mind, I'm searching for words. Rats are seen as pests, but they are part of this symbiotic relationship of how you create, how you understand things. There are many, many solutions. Maybe one of them, simply move. These are not necessarily helpful, and there are other beings that might be more helpful in your loving, humane expression of getting rid of rats or handling a rat problem, a rat infestation. As with anything with infestation, it is energy, it is ideas, it is attraction. There are many things that attract rats. Rats are garbage collectors. They handle garbage. They take care of garbage. Is there garbage that needs to be taken care of in your physical residence? They're looking for food. They're looking for water. They are looking to procreate. That is all that rats do. They are intelligent, but those are their three primal things that they want: food and procreation. Understanding this, they are much like you. The way that they have their energetic needs, they have their physical needs, but they respond to their impulses. They respond to their genetics. They respond to their instincts. They respond to their physical needs. But this is their limitation. If you understand the rat's needs, you can then attempt to solve the problem. One could just call an exterminator. And then have the discussion with the exterminator about humane needs of taking care of them. But this can play into how we humans, human nature, can deal with the infestation of negative thoughts, of negative habits, negative output, negative insight. It comes to vibration. Because everything has a vibration. These light codes have a vibration. These light codes can be interpreted in every moment based on your vibration as we deal with what we see as pests in our life, in our environment, in our vibration. Can we see it differently? Can we find solutions? Can we engage in conversation to gather solutions?
Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We have a couple questions in the room. Lawe's question is, she says, how can I better serve in love and compassion as the energies change with our increased exposure to the energies from the galactic center?
Thank you for that question. Because it does go along with the answer to the rat problem. Kalindi light codes are inspiration for every star creation of the first generation, of the second generation, of the third generation. And with your galaxy, your galactic center, in this celebration of the Lion's Gate that is coming up, that those who know of the Lion's Gate is the alignment to the central sun. And through this central sun, you are getting many, many creative light codes. This center of the galaxy, this central sun, is your creative source for this galaxy, for all of the intentions that everyone wished to explore in this collective consciousness of this galaxy. This creativeness formulated your galaxy. This creativeness formulated your solar system. Your solar system gathered around another star, gathered around another set of intentions. We will get to love and we will get to compassion. After creativity, this separation, this Many different ideas were created in the second generation of stars and in the third generation of stars. And part of this creation process, part of this creation was this exploration that needed love and compassion. This original creative essence was love. But when you're made of love and made of compassion, which is the same thing, they're just two different human words to express the same thing. It is the creativity, but we don't expression, understanding. Humanity doesn't necessarily understand the difference between creativity and love. And life, consciousness, did not understand the difference. So consciousness explored and consciousness created what humans understand as good and evil and good and bad. And these contrasting ideas made it so that love and compassion were understood. This love and compassion are needed to understand this thing of existence, this how to get past these infestations of negative thoughts, negative words, negative actions, negative vibrations. Just the thought of loving compassion of anything can help get your creative juices flowing and get you back to your creative nature. So you can create freely, so that you can create without judging yourself and judging others. So you can create fully as a true expression of you on what you wanted to explore and what you want to right now deeply explore. Love and compassion are ideas that help you get back to creation, to get back to your source, to get back to your inspiration, to get back to not being bogged down by these ideas of infestation, whether you see them as rats, whether you see them as gnats, whether you see them as mosquitoes that you need to swat away. When you get to your creative force, when you get to what you really want to do and how you really want to be, that is love. That is compassion. Compassion is only necessary when one is not in that vibration. Because otherwise you are compassion. And compassion is an expression of how you see things. Compassion is an expression of your vibration, of how you're thinking, of how you're acting, of how you're being. Compassion is an expression. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of this contrast. And this compassion is simply telling you, asking you, inviting you to be it. Because when you say the word compassion, how do you feel? When you think of the word compassion, you know that it exists. When you think of compassion, your true creative source is letting you know over here. Compassion can be an outlook on how you see others. Compassion is the creativity. How can you bring this out? As a part of this infestation that is not compassion and not creation, you can, or can you? Can you engage in all those other ideas with compassion? This sounds lofty. And this loftiness, let me ask this question. Do you want compassion shown to you? Do you want understanding to be shown to you? Think of that. Think of that. And now look outward with that. Yes, you understand. That is compassion. That is opening your eyes. But compassion is yet one word. Love is yet one word. Although there is everything in it, you have many more words, many more vibrations, many more feelings, many more ideas. Can we see all those ideas with love, with compassion, with inspiration, with understanding, with your heart? Did that answer the question? Would you like to engage further in conversation?
I believe so. The question was typed, so I believe that answered the question. And thank you very much for that. We have quite some other questions, so I'd like to move on if that's okay. Yana has a question. Go ahead, Yana.
Thank you. Blessings to you. Thank you for coming and giving a bridge to the Kalindi. The Kalindi are very, very well known to me, and I live with them in my living space and within the Stargate. Just as curiosity, can you bring forth or ask them how it is to live a non-corporeal life? Because as a being and as a being living a corporeal life, and within my galactic history, I encounter very, very much of my lives that are corporal, even in higher dimensions. How is it to live in that rainbow creative atmosphere and hold space for such large concepts?
Very, very interesting question. Our loving, creative intention is inspiration. It is our devotion. It is why we came here. You, on the other hand, although you came here with those vibrations, you came here to utilize, to work with us. You came here, and I'm speaking to everyone, although, Yana, you have a special understanding of Kalindi. Mm-hmm. You may believe that Stargate just appeared. You co-created that Stargate. You co-created that Stargate because you were ready, because you desired, because you were inspired, is the best way to say it. You were creatively inspired. Yes, let me build a Stargate. This creativity, this expression is who we are and what we bring everywhere. We are not really separate from you, as we are a part of you. And in this physicality, this matrix that was brought into creation, the inspiration of expression of whatever it is, whatever you choose to create, the deepest of dark was created with the same expression here. But the Kalindi is the reminder of this creative expression, this love, this, well, let me just let you talk because you understand. How do you see this Stargate? How do you see the Kalindi? I mean, I can tell you, but you know.
Well, I see the Stargate. I know the Stargate has grown immensely, and there are a lot of connections. The web that is this has formed through the years, through all of space, and through the Orion Stargate, and all the portals that bring in space travel or makes travel possible, and connections to the Earth grids that I work astrally on, that made that the Kalindi were able to come into this portal very easily. They manifested themselves, or you manifested yourselves as light beings, and you manifest yourself as light beings into my space every night with Stargate, but also in my living space. Am I allowed to show some pictures?
You are. And while this spotlight is removed, what I would like to suggest, lovingly, it was very wise of you to understand that the Kalindi are creating and manifesting are other words. But I would like to share the co-creation of that with you, because you are the one that is setting the intention, and you are the one that is observing that intention. That is the power that is creating the individual Kalindis. Okay? That is the power. That is the power that we Kalindi would love to talk about today. Your expression of more Kalindi, more light, more pure love is what is creating those Kalindi with you. Okay? I would be honored and inspired if you were to take ownership of that, if you were to recognize that.
Yes, I honor that, and like with all guides, it is when you pay attention to something and you nurture that within your consciousness and build rapport with that, it grows and it manifests even more. And it's like building any friendship, whether corporal or not corporal, is once you feed that with your consciousness and talk to it and ask for the energy to come in, be joyful about it, greet it like friends when they come in. I photograph the light beings within my space every night, and this is my little time of calling home. I feel myself part of that, and this is my little time of calling home.
Can you
And,
please spotlight her?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm excited, yeah. So the way I pull this in is just by attention, I think, and by being joyful about friendship. We are both co-creating, and I feel that it's nurtured from both sides. And I
Yes.
think whatever with all the galactics I am talking to right now, it is the same thing. And the higher you become into your ability of co-creating energy with light beings, the more your bandwidth of galactics that can contact you becomes. And the Kalindi are special to me. I know I enjoy them very much, and they bring a lot of light and love. The vibration I feel is somewhat, I already talked to you about that. I feel you as an angelic vibration, but you're not angelic, because that's another creation from the creator. But you feel like that to me, in the sort of energy I can bring, feels like how angelics feel. They feel the same, and also I feel your energy as very a rainbow kind of light, and that also is because you are so close into the creator field, is that you can manifest in those many colors, and you bring those many colors in every time I see you. That's why I would love to show some photographs if,
Yes.
if you
Yes.
allow.
May I pause you for one moment?
Yes, please.
Because what I would like everyone to observe is when you are talking about Kalindi, when you are talking about the joy that it brings you, you are glowing, you are shining, you are extremely bright, you are inspired by Kalindi. And it does not matter. That's what I would like to point out, is that everyone can tap into their joy, their glow, their shininess easily by finding what gets you going.
Yes, and
So,
that's what
please share.
that's what they told me also is, and that's why I love to share that in my story, but also in the photographs. Is it gives the photographs gives me, especially in the beginning, gives me a sort of handholds to make it real, and everybody can do this, and they are so willing to contact everybody who want to make this same contact with them. And of course they look for the first portals that are the easy entrances, but a lot of us are ready for this, and for this light to come in. So
Please show the photos, Yana.
yeah, okay, yeah. So
Okay.
these are some of the photographs of the Kalindi. I hope you can see this. This is with
Hold still. Yeah.
with the Stargate. I'm sorry.
And how are you taking those photos?
I take these photos with my phone,
Okay.
with on a video setting, or with photographs. They are in different. They come in colors. They come in forms. Sometimes first they came in forms like this,
Mhm.
and now they come more in colors.
The rainbow
And
color.
they have rainbow light within them. This is how I see them. And this is the stills. And the next one is how they are in my room in the evening. So when I video this is how they come with many. And
Can you back up the phone just a little?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, there. That's a better shot for everybody.
So it's like they're very present. This is my living room, and this is every night, every day, and every night. And I photograph them at night, and I take my time every night to say hello and photograph some of them, and just to say hello, and it's my way to connect.
Excellent. And I love your words, the way you're expressing your joy that's coming about.
Mm.
And you are tapping into the Kalindi, the light codes of the Kalindi, the light expression of Kalindi. This word Kalindi is just a word. And if we think of it as joyous inspiration and expression, then the light that came from the initial stars then went out into the other solar systems that were forming, in the galaxies and the planets. And your planet even takes light, it absorbs it, and it changes it. It takes this inspiration and it changes it and it sends it out. The basics of the light from your sun is it comes in as light and it leaves as heat. But this is the idea. You do not have to see the light expressions to bring out your joy. This is your expression of your loving nature, your essence, your joy coming outward. I would like to celebrate that. And I would like to invite everyone to tap into their creative joy. And it doesn't have to come about through witnessing light codes, observing light codes, or manifesting and co-creating light codes.
So what I learned is that they are the Kalindi live in the consciousness that is so vast, and as creators, they were present when the sun was created, and they will stay and nurture this sun until its time is done. If you think in the version of time we think in, but they love to interact like above, so below. Also in the smaller connections this creation has to offer. So they love the contact and contacting us and sharing this energy on a personal level. This is what I understand from my connection.
It's a very beautiful expression of your inner joy. One last thing I would like to touch upon, because your initial question came about because you wanted to understand from the Kalindi's point of view, the vastness is the word I keep hearing you say.
Yeah.
And I sense a vibration then of smallness and compared to this vastness. Am I correct?
I don't, not in the emotional sense that I feel small compared to, because I feel that we are our source, so we are it all. But it is like we have a passion or soul search to do with holding space for what we like to learn or want to bring in. The Kalindi have a whole other kind of program they grew into. What I understand, it was an evolutionary thing, like we are growing in consciousness, and how it is to, if one could describe being so close to God but separated, otherwise there is only love and stillness. To be in that vastness and to hold space for so long a time, or so vast a field, or vast a creation. Yes.
yes, yes. We are a part of you.
Mm.
We are the inspiration waiting to be co-created. We are the inspiration, the presence of inspiration. Let us say that. The presence of inspiration that is always present, that is always there. This is who we are. And waiting is a human term. We just are present.
Mm.
And this vastness is, this presence is vast. Your willingness, your inspiration, your search is causing this inspiration to manifest in the sensible, to things that make sense to you. This presence is not without you. It is just presence without you, without your desire to observe, without your desire to create. We are nothing. We are then the nothingness. If you are not creating, we go back to that only loving state of nothingness.
Can I ask, and this will be my last question, because this will have brought on questions of others as well, I think. So how does this compare to what we call the source field or the quantum field or the matrix we work in?
All very, very, very similar ideas.
Mm.
The source field is another set of words to describe this underlying energy of existence, of consciousness inside the matrix. This matrix, now that I exist as an individual, we individuals, all out in the collective of oneness, we created this matrix, this source field. We, as the one, created this matrix and this source field. And everything else was simply an expression of the creativity of the collective, of the individual expressions. Because we all tapped into this source field, this creative essence. And this creative essence is simply just another phrase that is an idea of the source field, of ways for humans to contact this source field. And each and every one of you can pause for a moment. Maybe even if you need to do something with your hand, if you put your hand on the ground beneath you or and you pause and you breathe and you allow yourself to feel, you can feel this source field. It may be intense for some, it may be subtle for others. For some, it will be tingly. For some, it will just be feeling like the floor beneath you. It is there. The subtlest of subtleties. It is there. Whether you see it as creativity, whether you see it as hardness, whether you see it as softness, you are the one creating it, creating that idea of firmness, of softness, by observing it from the source field, from this field of creativity from which Kalindi have arisen. Does that answer your question? I see by your glow it does.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking this much time off for me, and much blessings and love to you. I will make way for others.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for that conversation.
Yes,
It was very enjoyable, that co-creation.
okay, perfect. Okay, thank you, Yana. All right, Ryan has a question. Go ahead, Ryan.
Greetings.
Greetings, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't have any specific questions, but I just would like any general messages in terms of my spiritual development. Thank you.
You have many, many, many questions. They express themselves in many, many different ways. And your background of the galaxy is a grand expression of your questions and your expressions. This vastness of ideas of focus and attraction, your fascination, let's call it that way, because that is the beautiest aspect of it. Your inspiration that is derived from your seeking of the esoteric, of the magical essence, the truths that have been recorded, all those things. Would you like to engage in conversation?
Sure, why not?
Okay, because you have many, 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 many threads out there into this matrix. Some are still waiting for information to be retrieved, like on your world, a fisherman. What are some of your burning questions that have not been answered yet?
Well, how my spiritual development is going to proceed in terms of my gifts, my healing gifts, my channeling abilities, things like that, how that's going to unfold over the next, a year or so.
Yes. By tapping into your joy, by letting go, these things that you know are your biggest hindrance of channeling and of healing. These ideas that you think are helping you are actually not. Your ability to accept what others have said helps for a point. But then there's a point in which it actually gets in the way of the actual healing ability that you have, that you want to bring forth. Tap into, focus on that idea of the types of healing that you wish to bring forth.
Angelic healing, my Seraphim aspect.
Yes. Focus on that. Please describe to me and to us this idea of Seraphim and healing from with the Seraphim.
It's a very powerful healing. It's much more powerful than the archangels. It's a very intense healing that I have been practicing, and everyone I do it on says they enjoyed it. So I enjoy doing it, and I'm passionate about doing it.
Excellent. Excellent. So now what I would like you to do is to slow down your breath, still thinking of Seraphim healing, allowing the energy of Seraphim to come through you. And for those who do not know, the Seraphim are these fiery expressions of angelic energy. Their only job is to sing to God. And when we think of the ideas of Seraphim, we are thinking of God. the source, the creative source. By singing to this creative source. Now, when you're breathing slowly and you are thinking of the seraphim, I would like you to slowly, calmly, lovingly express what you feel when you bring through the seraphim.
Calmness, peaceful, and serenity. And
Excellent.
love.
Excellent. I know many of you have just observed it. I encourage you to rewatch this segment of the video. Feel your own energy in this video, how it is still rapid. If you want to bring in more of the seraphim, the calmness you speak of is asking to be a part of your soul, of your vibration, of your speech. This calmness and serenity to better embody the seraphim. Allow yourself to slow down. Allow yourself. There is no rush in the energy of the seraphim. By slowing down, you allow them to work better with you, more fully with you, because then you are embodying the energies of seraphim, this loving energy, this calm and peace. And when you understand this calm and peace of seraphim, of this fiery expression of peace, of presence, by being present with it, your words will slow down. Your vibration of I need more of it to come through, by slowing it down, it does allow more of it to come through. Do you understand? This concept of time is we each, now that I am here, this expression of time through this channel is very interesting. It can help, it can deter. But this presence is the seraphim.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Notice your vibration now.
Great. I feel great. I love the seraphim energies. Obviously, I have a seraphim aspect. That's great.
Thank you for that conversation.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, since we have the seraphim, welcome, and the seraphim energy, we're going to move on to Susan's question. Go ahead, Susan.
Hello. And this is still the Kalindi I'm speaking to?
Yes.
Or
Well,
I
we
didn't-
are. I am still Kayata, as you foresaw, as you spoke of during your blessing.
Oh, wonderful.
I
Yeah, I've been
encourage you to go back and listen to your blessing, to the words that you expressed.
yeah, I've
You-
been having the
You have named
Kalindi.
me.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get your name, so that's great to know your name. Because I've been having the Kalindi come through more often in my light language recently. So it's wonderful to, connect, to know I'm, speaking your light language and connecting with you. So wonderful. I've noticed in the last, I'd say 3 weeks, I've been having, I think my angel chakra at the back of my neck, back of my throat chakra, I think was started being more active, or activated and vibrating along with, so the back of my neck and kind of to the left as well. And it vibrates more when I do light language and I channel. And I've also noticed the last few weeks, more sensitivity or a heightened, or enhanced connection with my telepathy, my psychic abilities, my channeling seems like it's moved up a level. And I think it's related to like the purging I went through when I went to Scotland and Ireland. I released a lot of density related to a past life there, I found out. And so I feel lighter, and I feel like I'm kind of being propelled forward for the next steps in my spiritual business. But I also have a full-time third dimensional job as well, which I'm feeling less connected to, and I'm feeling more moving towards doing spiritual work and spending more of my time on that, because that's what I enjoy more. So I'm just wondering if you have any insights about like the next steps for the expansion of my spiritually based business, and if should I perhaps start my own YouTube channel and share some messages there, or have like a Facebook business page, or put myself out there more like on social media, which I don't really spend a lot of time like advertising myself or what I do. I mean, I do have my own website, but I'm not so, other than on our, our event or practice channeling videos that we do as a group, I'm not really advertising what I do to a greater degree. And I kind of feel like I'm on the brink of being propelled towards doing that more. So any insights you can provide would be greatly appreciated. So.
Yes. I think I understand. I would like to answer your question by not answering your question, by not giving you the specific answers of all those nitty-gritty details of, I would like you to notice first, by how you expressed your question and you set up the question. You said that you want to be propelled forward. That invitation, that desire is your key. You also said that the way I understood it is the way you said it is that someone else is doing the propelling for you. You are the one who is doing the propelling. You are the one that is the fuel in your rocket that is going. You have ignited your own fuel. The universe has simply just supplied the fuel. The field, this source field, has supplied the fuel. Your need for it manifested it, created it. You're releasing over in Scotland. This release is simply your realization that you holding on to it is not necessary anymore. You have used its value. You held on to it because it had some kind of value, whether it's from this life or a previous life. You held on to it because you saw value. It was still teaching you. It still created a shininess for you. No matter whether you see it as good or bad, you derived inspiration and learning from it. By you putting it down, whether it's in Scotland or anywhere else in this physicality, by you putting it down, you just said, there are other things of value I would like to carry. That's it. And you put it down. And then you picked up something else. This something else is now propelling you. This something else is the fuel. And all these details of Facebook page, Facebook business, YouTube are details that you will figure out, you will experiment with, you will decide what's working, what is not working, and you will go forward. This new inspiration that you picked up, focus on that. Focus not on the message, focus on the inspiration you got. Focus on this driving force that you picked up. Whatever this driving force is, no matter how you see it, this driving force, feel it. By you focusing on it, you are bringing more of it. You are increasing this fuel. You are creating more of this fuel by focusing on this driving force, and thus making it a bigger driving force. By focusing the aim of your rocket, you can then create more of this driving force, this momentum. Do you understand?
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely connecting in more to, these feelings, this, connecting in more to these gifts and feeling it and feeling the joy of it and expressing it. So I do feel, I kind of felt like it was also from my soul, from me, because as part of that purging, which actually was in Dublin, Ireland, where it happened at Dublin Castle, that it was like an integration of soul fragments, or reintegration. It was kind of like a karmic clearing of sorts, but it was also reintegrating parts of my soul from that lifetime, is a message I got from a friend, so who's a psychic medium, and that resonated with me too. Like, I feel like I got parts of myself back from that experience and that like reintegration, and like it's like like I'm moving forward on my, I guess, expanding myself. It feels like an expansion, and it feels wonderful, and I want to be more in that feeling of it and connecting within to it. And I'm getting clearer messages just for myself, from my inner guidance. And I think, what you're saying is correct. It resonates, that it's more, it's myself guiding me forward, and like my soul and my soul's journey, and to just feel my way into that more and more. And so I do resonate with that. And I've also noticed just in the last week or so, like last couple weeks, I should say, like I feel less connected to individuals that are more in their ego, or I feel like a disconnect. Like, I don't want to necessarily be around them as much, not that there's anything bad. I just feel like I'm like this energy momentum that, like you said, is being created by me or by myself. Like, I'm feeling like I'm moving in a different direction now than perhaps some of the relationships I've had that are, maybe a little more with individuals that are a little more third dimensional. Because I've noticed, like, if I feel a little drained around other people's energy and need to go within, need to like connect more with my journey, I guess, within myself and others, that, because I've been kind of feeling like I'm doing a juggling act between kind of my third dimensional life and the spiritual work that I want to put more time into. And I'm, moving more in that direction. And so so I'm trying to just let things be and let things progress naturally, and not worry about kind of feeling like I'm pulled in all these different directions. But any advice around that, as far as how to kind of balance this transition from like doing third dimensional work into spiritual work?
You are answering your own questions.
Yes.
Are you noticing that?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I think I'm just trying to express and see if there's any other insights or anything I've missed, I guess.
Yes. And you feel the pull in all these other directions.
Yeah.
And that is your main issue, as you have observed, this pull in many directions. So the advice might be, and you're going within, excellent, but spending too much time within it does help go forward. It helps you understand your true inspiration and true drive. But you can also decide or test, because this is a process of what works for you and and which one is going to bring out your joy. Since there are many pulls in those directions, and just like you laid out all the different platforms, maybe try just one of those expressions, one of those platforms. Just try one of it. Find out if that works. Does it allow your creative expression? And that will give you that positive feedback or the negative feedback that you desire as to, is this a direction I want to go? And then you can go within. The slowing down, as described earlier, is going within. By slowing down the breath, you're allowing the presence to be more present. Your presence. And this is the presence of your inspiration, the presence of your creativity, which then will bring out the presence of your joy. And when you realize that when you slow down and that this environment around you is creativity and joy, that is your manifestation, your creation, then no matter which direction you go, that presence of joy and creativity and peace and love are with you. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Thank you for bringing that into words and feeling. I appreciate that conversation.
Yeah, it's just, I'm going through all these experiences, personal changes in this way, and trying to, formulate like how this is leading me forward and like where, and I feel a sense of excitement with this greater expansion I'm feeling, and connecting with others, like in Michelle's healing group, which she talked about, I think last week, and coming together in groups and sharing our energies as a collective, and putting healing intentions out in the world. I think that's been part of this journey, of expanding outwards and connection. Like I'm feeling the need for greater connection with others and being the example of the light, and just sharing, your experiences so that others that are just starting to awaken, kind of see that example, or see, hey, there's others that are feeling how I'm feeling and experiencing things I'm experiencing. And I think that's part of this beautiful journey as well. So thank you very much for
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you for the conversation. Some things I'd like to leave you and everyone with. When you said earlier that there are connections that you want to move away from, you're not necessarily finding value in those connections, and that you're seeking other connections of higher value for you. And these expressions, these communications that you're looking forward to, these groups that you're looking forward to, as we slow down, as we breathe, we can then choose more aligned with what we wish to create and what we wish to experience, by not having too many expectations except the joyous exchange with these new groups. And I also noticed that this is a human issue, is that when we find this creative energy, this light, and that it shines from us, there is no need to declare that this light is shining from you, and no need to declare that I am shining the light. Your presence and your shining of the light will speak for itself. This need to share the light is different than sharing the light. Do you understand?
Yes, I believe so.
By you seeing your light and letting it shine is enough. By you going to those groups and focusing on your creative bliss, your light will shine. By shining your light on your own light, does nothing. Does nothing.
Yes.
You are still just as bright, but it does not engage in the conversation that you truly wish to have with all these others. This engagement, this exchange of the light, their light and your light. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like an amplification of our collective light is what it,
Yes.
it's what we've been experiencing. As we meet more and more together, it's like, it feels like it's growing and expanding and becoming more powerful. Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for the conversation.
Yes. Thank you so much for
This
coming.
co-creation.
Yes. Much love to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Wendy has a question. And Angie, do you have questions in YouTube or not?
Yes, I have two questions.
Okay, all right. We're coming up on, we have 30 minutes left, so let's keep that mindful. And we'll go ahead to Wendy. Go ahead, Wendy.
Yes, thank you so much. I had my question ready, and now I feel like I've reformulated it just based on some of the other conversation. But I know that I had a similar expression as Susan did when we were in Dublin Castle. And then I started, but for me, it felt like that quantum dizziness. I just kind of felt that energy moving. And I think I'm pretty good at like moving energy through the flow. So it's possible that I just let that energy release and go. Whereas Susan had a more significant outcome. But after that, I noticed that I've been more readily seeing auras, and one expression that occurred was when our other friend was talking, I could see like her other being in front of her, like a hologram. So it was like I was seeing her and the other being both speaking to me at the same time. And so I'm curious about how I'm choosing to elaborate that along with using tuning forks for my healing gifts, because again, after that trip, I think we're all finding that expression of expansion within ourselves. Being open to the more unlimitedness of who we are, I think.
I think I understand your question and some ideas that I'd like to discuss. There were many. I noticed a comparison at Dublin Castle that you put on yourself and Susan, and you noticed a difference in value of what was put down and what was picked up. And might I suggest that she put down what she decided was no longer of value, whatever the size perceived of it. She put down what was no longer serving her, and she picked up the inspiration of what
3D.
did. And you did the same thing. It was just as profound for you. These ideas of the gifts that she received seem bigger than the gifts that you received. These are only going to hinder you in the future. What you picked up is what you needed, what inspires you for your expansion. It was
That's
the
interesting.
greatest value for you. And your
Yes.
gifts that are coming to you because of that, bring them in with joy. And these tuning
Yes.
folks, might I talk about the tuning folks?
Yes, I would love that. And actually, it's funny because I wasn't thinking of it in terms of what was picked up. I was thinking of it as what was dropped off. But maybe they're one and the same. And yeah, that's funny. But yes, please tell me about the tuning forks because yeah, I'm really feeling something about them.
Well, might I just say that since you were thinking of what you were dropping off, and it's hard to describe, every time you try to think of what you dropped off, you're trying to make understanding of what it was. And might I remind you that it no longer exists, which is why you can't grasp it any longer. It does not exist.
Yes.
Okay. And these tuning forks, the idea of a tuning fork is more of a pure vibration. Okay. The tuning forks were made of pleasing vibrations. Whether you see them as pleasing or not, they could be of any vibration. And these tuning forks help you tune and help other people tune. Some on your planet, some of these tuning forks are aligned with the vibration of the chakras. Some of these tuning forks are aligned with musical notes. Some of these tuning forks are aligned with other items. They are just gentle reminders of the vibration of that. Each and every one of you are going to hear these tunes, these vibrations, these steady vibrations differently. They will mean something different to each and every one of you. They help focus on ideas, on vibration. They help and invite all the other things of like vibration to come into tune, which is why they call them tuning forks. Not with, I demand it. It's because all of them recognize it. And they recognize it at the inner being of their sentience. And they're reminded of the alignment, and they come into alignment naturally. And this alignment in the physicality is the same that you can do with your spiritual alignment of any of the vibrations of the tuning forks. And it is a tool. It is a tool of tuning, and how you bring it forth and how you see each of the tuning forks in each day and each session and how you talk about them is the wisdom of each of the tuning forks and the wisdom of your inner being coming into alignment, coming into expression. Because it's all about you. This whole exploration, they come to you. They come to you for the healing of the tuning forks and your presence of your energy and the energy that is coming through you. You are attracting them just like the tuning forks are bringing all the other things into alignment with a vibration. This is what all healers do.
Just another tool in my toolbox.
You are the tool in our toolbox.
Oh, that's funny.
We are nothing without you. We are simply an idea of creative inspiration until you bring us into reality.
That's beautiful. Wow. I noticed those expressions of light that Jana showed her photos of. I have some photos with that same expression of light in my background as I was going back and looking at some of my pictures from Mount Shasta. And I didn't really think about it before, but I'm wondering if that was your energy, if we were working with your energy back then.
What do you feel?
I feel yes. I feel yes.
Then it is
That
so.
the light expression has been there. And then also with the water, whenever I'm out there on the water, I notice the light playful. It's just playful with me.
Yes.
Through water reflections.
The Kalindi do not have to manifest themselves as light. We are most recognizable through light. We are simply energy. We are ideas. We are expression, and most recognizable through light as photons, if you would say, on your
Yeah.
planet.
Beautiful. And that's like my strongest component is energy. So I'm going to build that idea more thoroughly into my consciousness of conscious awareness. So I thank you for your time, and I'll let whoever else is next going. Thank you so much. Many blessings to
Thank you
us.
for the conversation. Much expansion has come from it.
Thank you. As we were sitting here and I was listening, I was seeing rainbows all in my closed eyes. And at one moment, it was like I actually saw Windy, like jumping rope, like as a little kid, but the rope was a rainbow. So just so you know, Windy. Okay. Angie, you have some questions there that are suitable for the Kalindi?
Yes.
Great. Please continue.
Can you please comment on how reincarnation works? As we are told, all incarnations happens at the same time. What happens to one soul when we die? How would that fit into reincarnation?
Very interesting question. Very, very interesting question. Time. We, the Kalindi, are not necessarily experiencing time. As using the words as expressed earlier, we are waiting is one way to say it. We are simply present. We are present in any moment. We are present in every moment. So let us focus first on this life that you are focused on. Through your experience of time, and each person here is experiencing time differently. Yes, you have a shared reality that of seconds and minutes and hours and years and things like that. And everyone's idea of a moment is different. Through this continuation of life, through the various moments of time from fertilization to death, your soul, the consciousness, chose to incarnate here. Chose, was attracted to. What you experienced in this life, from what you perceive as moment to moment, you are building a string. You are threading one grand long necklace. You're putting each moment on the thread, and another moment, and another moment, and another moment, and another moment. And upon your death, you put the last bead on, and you tie the knot. And this idea of a life is this thread of beads of moments. Now, when you choose to incarnate again, if you choose to continue the expression of this thread, but in a new thread, you take this thread and you wind it up and you put it in a little ball and you put it in your pocket of your soul. And then you take a thread. And then you incarnate in this new life. And then you put on, from moment to moment, you put on a new bead, and then a new bead, and then a new bead, and then a new bead. And then at the end of that life, you put on your last bead and you tie the knot. And then what you do is you have this thread, and then you take out your other thread, and now you have two threads of beads of moments of experience. Now you take these two beads, and if you wish to incarnate again along the continuance of these two threads, you then take these two threads, put up in a ball, you put them in your pocket of your soul, and you then grab another thread. Do you see this idea? And you keep putting beads on it, and you keep putting beads on it, and you keep putting beads on it, and you tie the knot, and you put it in your pocket, and you decide how you want to express the next life. And that is the length of the string, because you know the number of moments that you're going to. Now, if you take all of the lifetimes that you've had in your big ball, in your pocket of your soul, you can look inside this pocket and you can see everything. Everything in your pocket is a moment. And your pocket is a moment. They are all a moment. Now, this idea of, are they all the same moment or are they all different moments? If you look at them, if you can see a difference, they are different moments. If you can look at them and see the same thing, they are the same moment. Time. Reincarnation. Soul group. Heaven is simply one bead. Heaven is no bead. Your soul group are a bunch of pockets where everybody gets to look in everybody else's pocket, be admired, and admire. Respect, shine, share. Does that make sense?
That made great sense. It was a YouTube question, so, but the way you expressed that was the understanding of how all moments can exist at one time because they're all in the pocket at the same time. It's just where you draw your focus on. Can you draw on that inside that pocket and you take a look at that? You know, that's the drawing on the energies.
Yes. So let us go into the pocket. And I would like you to go into the pocket of your soul. Take out all the threads and all the beads and hold them in the palm of your hand or the palms of your hand and look at them. And look at the energy contained in each. Some of these beads, these moments, are more shiny than others. Some of these beads are darker than the others. Now, if we don't look at them with the expression of light, maybe we can look at them at the expression of taste. Maybe we can look at them with the sense of feeling. Maybe we can look at them with the sense of hearing. Maybe we can look at them with the sense of taste. Every perspective of each of those moments are different based on where you are coming from, which of your senses you are sensing. In each of these moments, some of the moments have bigger expressions, bigger densities, more mass. And some of them, these beads appear small because they don't have much density. The bigger beads seem like they're bigger. You create your bead in this moment based on how you're thinking, how you're feeling, what you're doing, what you're saying, based on all 6 senses and the theme of the thread of your life that you chose, plus your experience of all the beads that you have strung on this life, plus all the beads. Now, these beads, the big beads and the small beads, to you, do they represent? What do they represent, these big beads and these small beads? Do they feel like a boat anchor, the big ones? Do the big ones feel like great expressions of joy? Do they look like it's holding you back? Does it look like it's driving you forward? When you evaluate the size, the feeling, the shape of each of these beads, what is the wisdom of each of these beads, of any one of these beads? Now, the dropping of past life expressions, using the conversations from before at Dublin Castle, simply, if we think of them as balloons, it is simply what you're doing is you deflated the effect of that balloon. Some call it healing. It is no longer a major focal point in the pocket of your soul. Whether you feel you need to fix it or run toward it, it's just a focal point of expression, of energy that you have built up over your idea of time, over your idea of lifetimes in the pocket of your soul. Where you choose to focus when creating this new bead, this bead that you are creating, influences how you create this new bead. And some say our past influences our creation of this new bead. And I might say, how does your pocket feel? Is your pocket weighing you down or lifting you up? If it's weighing you down, doesn't it require attention and focus? If it is lifting you up, doesn't it require attention and focus? If it is bringing you peace, it is actually liberating you to choose freely. It is not driving you to resolve it. It is not driving you to inspire you. You are most free to create with an empty pocket.
Thank you so much for that. She said, it was Rosangela Cap who said that, who had that question. She says, it made so much sense to me. It made so much sense. Also, I see the same lights as mentioned earlier. Are these lights also the Kalindi? She says, some are flying white balls with wings. Rosangela Cap.
Yes, yes, yes. I invite you to not get caught up on the name Kalindi. It is simply a name. And by focusing on the name Kalindi, you are limiting yourself. You might also be focusing yourself. Kalindi are an expression of creativity and inspiration. If you were inspired to create by it, yes, there is Kalindi essence in it. If you were fearful of it, well, there is some aspect of Kalindi in it because you're inspired to be fearful. These are just words, and it is light. We are in every light code. We are in every earth code. We are separate but united with this source field. We are in touch with this source field, just like this source field is present, waiting. We are present and waiting. There is much that is the same, and there is much that is different. So these light codes that you see, how do you feel when you see them? Are you inspired? And if you want to, if you come up with a different name, it is okay. If you are inspired by a different name, use that name. That is the important part. They could be Sirius light codes. They could be Lionsgate light codes. They could be solar light codes from your sun. They could be Andromedan light codes. You can give them any name. How are you inspired by it? What does it mean to you? How do you feel when you see them, when you use them? Do they invite you? Do they trigger something in you to do, to create, to express yourself? Those are the important questions.
Thank you so much for that.
Did you have another question, Ange, or not?
I do. Nathaniel Martin says, can you expand more on the new implementation of the central banking digital currency in our society? Is it used for control and manipulation?
Okay, and we only have just about 3 minutes left for questions.
Everything can be used for control and manipulation. Whether the central banking system or anything that is centralized is control. Anything that is decentralized is open for influence. It's decentralized for a reason. And any central system is central for a reason. The hub of control, or you are a centralization of energy, of ideas, so that you can control and you can create. Any banking system that is centralized is so that the people in the center can control the flow. Whether it's a banking system, whether it is a farming community, whether it is anything. Now, how much control? How much trust? Those are all the ideas. And with anything is the outward expression of this central hub, an expression of the truth of what it is? Or are they expressing ideas to sell you what they want to sell you? These are the things to look at. When one looks within, you are doing the same thing. What is my motivation? What am I trying to control? Am I trying to control the bad experiences that I am having, so I have less of them, so those friends go away, and the new friends that I wish I would like to have, that I bring in? It is all a natural process. It is all of what we are all doing here in this creativity of expansion. And by doing all of these things, we all expand. And again, I am answering your question about this new central banking system by not answering your question, so that you can formulate your own opinion about it, so that you can, if you choose to, analyze it, so that you can choose to participate or not. I can tell you, but that won't help you. Because if you are buying what I'm selling, you are not listening to yourself.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Karen. Krishna
Okay,
Priya.
perfect. Thank you. I really appreciate your withholding of information, because Theos does the exact same thing. They don't believe it always serves someone to give them the answer that they should really search for inside themselves. So I appreciate your integrity in that way. Okay, we have come to the end of the time that we have with you, but it has been a fascinating, inspiring, beautiful interaction, and we really thank you for being here with us. Wish you will come again when you are willing and desire to.
I shall return to the field. You may create a new version of me in any moment. You may use the same name, Kayata. You may use the same name. I will be different. I will be new. I will be the ideas of the individual or the collective who calls upon me, who calls upon us. And you don't have to choose the name Kayata. You can choose any name that comes to you by focusing on the creative inspiration. If you use the name Kalindi, and then any other name that comes in, you have created it. You have called it into existence, and you then will communicate, exchange, expand, grow based on your communication with Kalindi, which is just the creative essence between your active selves.
Welcome
Hi.
back.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
What am I doing here?
No, I was reclined for a good bit of this conversation, just so I could fully enjoy it. You're back. I would like to, because we are really basically out of time. I want Angie, if she'll do her announcements, and then maybe you can do the outgoing blessing, because you didn't do a blessing on the way in, if that would work for you.
I would love to.
Great, perfect. Okay, Angie, go ahead, and then we'll go to Will.
Thank you very
And
much.
just one last thing, next week we will have Jim, so we will see everybody next week.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. We have the gathering scheduled for August 8th through August 12th, 2024, next year. If you're interested in that, we are offering a payment plan. It's so far in advance that if you want to pay a little bit each month, that is okay, and we can do that. Please send an email to classes@hucolo.org, and I will get all the information out to you. If you'd like to go ahead and register, right on our website, we have the link for the registration and also the flyer, as well as on our YouTube page, our YouTube main page. The information is on there as well. The cost is $6.95. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Will, whenever you're ready to lead us or exit us with your blessing.
Exit us. Yes.
Lead
The
us,
Exodus.
but exit us, the exodus.
Wow. Yes. Okay. So I would like everyone to offer this idea of community. I would like us all to focus on this idea of unconditional love that is all accepting, however you see it. And let us all just slow down and breathe for a moment as you put your expressions out there in the collective for us. That is the energy that I would like to be the voice of. Hati rahatai rahaya. Atud urhaya achia rahakiera. So urusa ya kanasi areata. Saya ata takara. So ora arasae. So ora achayarata. Siarata arasa aokora. Isaka arata ira asador. Ora sabanata. Thank you so much. Nyatoro hukaya ashehikataraha.
Thank you. Thank you, Will. We'll be back in 1 month. So maybe the 5th of September, if we're going on this theme. I'm not sure what the 4 weeks is, but we'll see you very soon, Will. Thank you for being here. And it's always a pleasure, and beautiful sharings with everyone, and beautiful questions from everyone in YouTube and everyone in the room. So thank you. And again, next week we will have Jim, and in 2 weeks after that, we will have actually Susan and Wendy giving us their review of their trip to Ireland. So very exciting, and much love to everyone, and we'll see you next week. See you soon. Bye.